Welcome back to Twin Cities Live. I'm still pretty embarrassed. I'm traumatized.
You're really happy with your hips now, though.
I love my hips.
That's what counts.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I'm really happy with my big toe.
Your big toe is great. You have an excellent big toe. So do you podcast?
I do. Actually, I make a regular habit of podcasting. I podcast probably every day. I listen to about three to five radio segments every single night on podcast.
Do you really?
Yourself? Do you even know what it is?
I do know what it is. I listen to the Lost podcast, but I will admit I have it. The only reason I listen to it is because my husband downloads it. I have no idea how to get a podcast.
You would have no idea how to make your own podcast, yes?
No way.
I would actually have no idea how to make my own podcast. But podcasting is a term that many of you might be familiar with. It is getting extremely popular, and it's not all that difficult to do. As one Plymouth family has found out, they've taken advantage of Webkinz, which is a very, very popular kids' toy, and they go on every single week with their own radio podcast that has become a top 25 podcast in the world of iTunes. Take a look.
Well, hi everyone, and welcome to the Webkinz Webcast! Yeah!
I thought this would be a fun family project for me and the kids to get involved in.
It's just really fun.
I am your host Dave, along with the Webkinz kids, Hannah and Zoe. Let's hear it, Hannah.
Hi.
And Zoe.
Hi.
There you go. A lot of stuff to cover on.
Week after week after week, we've been gaining more and more, and literally thousands and thousands of more listeners.
This one's from Allison H. from Freehold, New Jersey, USA. Says, I think ants should make a dolphin. I think this because it would be cool if its room was filled with water. So instead of walking or hopping, it would swim. It was kind of scary because, when I started, I was like, I might mess up and stuff, so.
The second most searched term on Google in 2007 was Webkinz. And that's what blew me away. I go, man, I think we picked a hot subject.
We've got some Webkinz Webcast breaking news! Oh yeah, big time breaking news.
It's fun to, talk about stuff that we really like and, know the upcoming Webkinz and new games and new items.
Our favorite part is just spending time with the kids. It's our little time. Every week we know that we get together, we do our podcast, we put it together, and week in and week out we know that every week there's a certain time where we're definitely getting together and we're having some fun.
And we'll see you next time on the Webkinz Webcast. Bye-bye.
Man, what a great family activity. They have a great podcast. I actually listened to a little bit of it today, and they actually have breaking Webkinz news on there.
That was really cute. They were talking about that. It was very cool. I feel kind of dumb, though. Those two little kids know way more about podcasting than I do.
Well, apparently it's not all that difficult, because Ben Higginbotham rejoins us here on Twin Cities Live. We had him on once before. He did outstanding. You are back, my man. He is actually Ben Credible is what he is.
That's right.
And he's from his website is technologyevangelist.com, and he's here to tell us about how you can make your own podcast. This is scary even for me, who uses podcasts.
No, it's not that hard. Well, first we should define what a podcast is and how you can get a podcast, because that's kind of important, knowing how to do that. And I've got iTunes right here. You can use many different software programs. We're going to use iTunes. And so I go to the iTunes store, which is available at apple.com/iTunes. Download iTunes.
You're looking at his computer that we have right here with us.
Absolutely. Live feeds. Great. So I'm in the iTunes store. You see a podcasting section on the left-hand side, so just click on podcast, and you can search through hundreds of thousands of different podcasts, and that's like an online radio episode. Or it can be television. It can be anything you want it to be. It's just an automatically updated episode whenever they choose to update it. So here I've got my different, it loaded. So here, new releases of different podcasts. So you can see I've got like a Psycho World Radio, or, whatever. Howcast shows you how to do different things, stuff like that. And then once you've done that, you've got a podcast section over here, and you can see I've got, Howcast Kids. You said Webkinz, so check that out. I've got my Webkinz episode, and I can just double click on that and start to play it. I've got my own podcast that I'm going to promote on the show because that's what I do.
Sure.
Actually, you were talking about astronauts. We have Karen Nyberg, who just went to the International Space Station. She's a Minnesota native. And so we've actually got a shot of her on my podcast that was for today. Let me see if I can jump to it. Let's see here.
There's you.
There's me.
Looking good.
See, promoting you guys.
Yeah, I was just...
So right there.
There she
is. Yep, and you can see her playing with her hair in zero G. It's kind of fun.
She looks oddly a lot like you did, John.
Yes,
exactly. Just kind of sitting there floating around.
So you just really need to get onto iTunes.
Just get onto iTunes, and they walk you through everything. They make it as easy as possible. But now you want to make your own podcast.
Yeah.
You've
So
got
what
some,
kind of tools do you need?
Well, actually, if you've got a Macintosh, all you need is GarageBand. It's really, really simple. So you just open up GarageBand. You say...
What's GarageBand?
GarageBand is a free application that comes with every Apple Macintosh.
Okay.
Every new Apple
So it's
Macintosh.
on everyone.
It's on every brand new Apple Macintosh.
It's on nothing else, though?
It is not on Windows. You can actually buy software for Windows to make it go, but this is free, so I'm going to promote the free stuff that you have right now.
Gotcha.
But if you just
Like
search
free
Google
stuff.
for Windows podcast software, you'll find a bunch of different hits for that.
Okay.
So you just create a new podcast. We give it a name, so we'll call it TCL. Hit OK. It loads up a bunch of different effects for you, and all you have to do is click up here and hit record.
And just
Boom. Now
That's it?
we're making our podcast right now.
He's been credible, ladies and gentlemen.
you can
He
see-
has been credible.
Technology evangelist.
That's it. So I hit stop on my recording, and now I've made my audio file. I just need to upload that to a website. So that process can be done for free at mypodcast.com.
So you can pretty much podcast for free.
Yes, absolutely.
And you have no microphone here. Where's
Well,
the
I use the microphone built into the laptop. Now, on the Webkinz episode you just saw, the package you just saw, they had some pretty decent microphones. And you can do anything between from a really low-end microphone in your laptop all the way up through multi-$1,000 microphones. You know, the more equipment you buy, the better it will sound.
Why would you do this, though?
Well, if you want to do something like, let's say you've got a community newsletter and you're handing out the newsletter, well, why not actually bring members of the community in to podcast with you and get their voice on that community newsletter? Do something that brings your community together. You can also do it if you're really passionate about a topic. I'm passionate about space travel, so I made spacevidcast.com. So I actually do this podcast and I educate people on why I think we should be in outer space. And if you've got something, if you're passionate about sports or cooking or whatever it happens to be, you can make a podcast and let other people share in your passion.
That is where, if people are interested in starting it, are there any good books, any good software to check out?
Well, there's a ton of information at mypodcast.com. So there's an FAQ section, there's an online forum, so you can ask other people that are, maybe just beginning or other people that are experts how you can get started, what you need to do, and how to make it all go.
I could see a lot of people thinking this is really neat.
It's great stuff. Absolutely.
Technology.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, been incredible. Thank you so much.
Thank
man.
you.
No problem. It's always fun.
We appreciate it.
And put on a better shirt for your next podcast, would you? Geez, you dress up for this show. Why not your own? Later on, Twin Cities Live, you got our .com deals. We're going to save you some money. And speaking of the websites, we'll give you some of our best websites to go to with our web picks.
But coming up next, we're going to mix up some memories in the TCL kitchen. We'll be right back.